Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. You guys really seem to be enjoying the crockpot recipes. Today I have 3 more for you. These are all easy recipes and bonus, they are all healthy. So let's get started. I'm going to begin by making just a simple vegetable soup. This is a vegan recipe and it's also delicious. I need some carrots, celery, a potato, 1 onion, and I had a bunch of frozen vegetables I wanted to use up, so I'm just going to use some corn, peas, and green beans. And then 1 can of V8. The recipe calls for 2 cups, so I'm going to supplement this with some tomato juice I had left over from another recipe. I will link that above. And then also to that, we're going to add in some vegetable stock. You can also use chicken stock, some minced garlic, salt, and pepper. I'll begin by just preparing all of my fresh vegetables. So I'll chop up my carrots and my potato, the celery, and then the onion, and then I will add all of that into the crock pot. Once the vegetables were added, I added some vegetable stock. You need 4 cups. Now you can use vegetable stock or chicken stock, whatever you have on hand. And then I need 2 cups of tomato juice. So I used the entire can of V8 and supplemented that with the remainder of the tomato juice I had on hand. I added some garlic into this, and then some salt. Now keep in mind, I did use unsalted vegetable stock. If you use salted, you might want to cut back on the salt, but I used around a teaspoon. I also added some pepper into this, and then the frozen veggies, so my corn, my peas, and my beans. I'll stir that up, and then I will put the lid on this and I'll let this cook on low for probably 4 to 6 hours until it's done. I let this cook until the potatoes were nice and tender, and I tested it near the end. I thought it needed a little extra seasoning, so I did add around a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, and it made a big difference. It added a lot of flavor to the soup. Now I will say this recipe is very simple, and you would think that it doesn't have a lot of flavor, but I was pleasantly surprised. The soup was very tasty and obviously healthy. We ate this for lunches throughout the week and we really enjoyed it. So here is everything that we're going to need for our Swiss steak. We're going to start, we need about 1.5 pounds of ground steak. So this is a little over 1.5 pounds, but then we need 1 stalk of celery, 1 medium yellow onion, a can of tomato sauce, black pepper, salt, and flour. For this recipe, I will start by preparing my celery and my onion. So I'm just going to chop up my celery into about 1/2 inch pieces, and then I will thinly slice my onion. Once my onion is done, I will spray my crock pot with some nonstick spray, and I will add the onions into the crock pot. Now on to preparing the meat. So in a shallow dish, I put some flour, salt, and pepper, and then I just mixed this to combine, and then I dredged the beef in the mixture. So you want to get a good coating on both sides, and then add each of those pieces into the crock pot. Once all the meat was in the crock pot, I added my can of tomato sauce to the top along with the celery. And then you want to cook this on low for about 8 hours or until the beef is falling apart. I realized after an hour or so that this didn't look quite like what my mom used to make because she made this a lot for us as we were kids. So I called her to find out what the difference was between her recipe and this one, and she actually used condensed tomato soup, not tomato sauce. So I looked up how to make this more like condensed tomato soup, and I found that if you use some cornstarch mixed with some water and you add in a few tablespoons of brown sugar, it'll make it more like the condensed soup. So that's what I did, and I added that into the crock pot. I put the beef back in, and then I let this cook until it was done. Again, it took around 8 hours total. So the easier thing that you could do instead of using the tomato sauce is just use a can of the condensed tomato soup and add a little bit of water to it, and it'll give it a sweeter, richer flavor. And I will include that in the link below where I have the recipe. After 8 hours, this was done, and you can see how nice and saucy it was. The beef was super tender and the onions and celery were cooked, so it was time to plate this up for our dinner. We really like this Seeds of Change quinoa and brown rice mixture. We just pop it in the microwave for 90 seconds and it's good to go. So we just topped that with a piece of our steak and a lot of the sauce because it's delicious. And then I added some parsley to the top for extra flavor and color. This was so good. Like I said, you could make this a lot easier by using the condensed soup, but it's super tasty. And I just wanted to show you here, look at this. Look at how easily this falls apart. You don't need a knife or anything. It was delicious. Hey, so it is after lunchtime and I'm trying to focus on work, but honestly, my mind is on dinner. So hands down, my favorite takeout is going to be Chinese, always. Specifically, it's going to be chicken and broccoli. So today it's cold out and we don't feel like going out. And honestly, since we're trying to eat a little bit healthier, I'm going to make my own chicken and broccoli at home. That way we can control the ingredients. And also I'm going to do it in the crock pot. And then dinner will be just about done by the time I'm finished working. So here are all the ingredients that we're going to need. We're going to start with some broccoli and chicken, obviously, because this is chicken and broccoli. And then we're going to need some crushed red pepper, minced garlic, a little bit of ginger. It calls for soy sauce, the recipe does, but I like to mix that with some coconut aminos. Coconut aminos are healthier, but I definitely like the taste better of soy, so I'll just mix the two. Then I just need some cornstarch, honey, sesame oil, and rice vinegar. All right, so I have 2/3 of a cup of water in my measuring cup, and I want 1/3 cup of soy sauce, but I'm gonna mix some soy with the coconut aminos. And then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Okay, to that we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of honey. And 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar. We need about 3 cloves of garlic. We like a lot of garlic, so I will probably use more. Need about a tablespoon of ginger. And then I'm just gonna add a dash of red pepper flakes. I'll whisk this all together. Okay, I'm gonna pour about 1/3 of this into the crock pot. Enough to coat the bottom. And then I'm gonna add in about 1.5 pounds of chicken breast. I just cut it into small pieces so that I don't have to do it later. Then I'm gonna add the remainder of my sauce. And then I'm gonna cook this on low for probably 2.5 hours, just till the chicken is not quite done, but close. My chicken is just about done. You can see how that sauce really thickened up from the cornstarch. Just gonna give it a stir. And then to it, I mixed together 2 tablespoons of cornstarch with equal amounts of water. I'm just gonna put that in, and this will just thicken the sauce even more. And now to the crock pot, we're going to add some chopped up broccoli. Recipe calls for about 2 heads. I really like broccoli. I like to have more broccoli than chicken, so I'm actually gonna add all of this. I'll stir that into the sauce. Because I'm using so much broccoli, I may use a little bit more sauce. If so, I'll just mix together some coconut aminos, maybe a little additional water, and we'll stir that in. Okay, so now I'm gonna turn my heat up to high, and I'm gonna let this cook through until the broccoli is done, probably another 45 minutes or so. And in the meantime, I'm gonna chop up some green onions too, just to sprinkle on top. I let the broccoli cook on high for about an hour, and it's tender crisp at this point, so it looks delicious. So we are gonna have some cauliflowered rice, keep it nice and healthy. So I just microwave that, put some on a plate, and then we'll dish this up. Doesn't that look good?
It does. What is that, teriyaki glaze?
It's like a honey soy.
I was gonna say, it kind of smells like teriyaki.
Okay, and then we'll just top it with some chopped green onions. Oh, one more thing.
It added a lot of color.
Are you being sarcastic?
A little bit. I know it's good for taste.
So funny. I'm just
funny.
gonna add a couple of sesame seeds, and no, this isn't gonna add much color either. And there you have it, dinner tonight. Okay, now I know it's not quite takeout, but...
Hey, I mean, anything can be healthier than that. I like it. What did you say the sauce was again?
It's like soy mixed with coconut aminos and a little bit of honey and rice vinegar, sesame oil. It's good.
Combination of some stuff. Yeah, it almost tastes like a teriyaki.
Okay. Well, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing.
Hey, thanks for watching the video and watching me try this. If you like it, please tap the little thumbs up, hit subscribe, and then also hit the bell and select all.
Apparently you know how this is done. Bye.